I want to remind people that at the end of the day, this all falls back on Foodie Beauty. She's the reason all this even happened. It's all on her. Hello, Pran. I was fond of her, but this is too much. No more. I think a lot of people were. And I understand, like, parasocial relationships are totally a thing on the internet, but you have to be willing to see people for who they truly are. When they try to act like they're saints and they don't do any wrong and they're constantly out here and you have nothing nice to say about people and it's always just negative, but me, good. Question it. Question everything. You should. You should, about me, about Charlie, about Frenchie, about all of us. You always got to have common sense and be able to see through people's bullshit. But for Frenchie, I feel like it started to be pretty fucking crystal clear. But it took a while. Thank you for being a member, hun. Yeah, negative Nancy. Oh my God, the screaming and the cackling. And here's what got me. Here's the thing for me and the Frenchie shit. Because I didn't listen to Frenchie like that often. Like when she did the bloop stream and the rescue of BBJ, yeah, like I listened to that. But outside of that, I really don't have time to consume a lot of content. Right? So, but when she started saying these weird things about me and I was listening to some of her streams and the way that she would like compare herself and flex to Chantel, I'm like, you've got this kind of energy out here for somebody who more than likely should be riding a fucking little bus. Who like, yeah, of course you're going to come out on top when you're comparing yourself to somebody like Chantel, who more than likely wears a diaper, who more than likely, and no offense, is mentally stunted. If you're ever out here comparing how much better you are than Chantel, you need to probably not do that because the bar is in hell. You know what I mean? And if you go back and you listen to that anniversary of the bloop stream that she did on her channel, highly recommend it. Go give her the fucking view. Please do. And how she talks about how much better she is than Chantel and you're never going to be able to outsmart me. Well, we call her a Funko baby for a reason, sweetheart. You're literally fighting with somebody who's funkled. I'll leave it at that because people don't like when I say anything else. So, I mean, if you want to do that, if you want to flex on the Funko baby, well, I'm not going to stop you, but I don't know how anybody hasn't said that yet. You know what I mean? Like to laugh and to kind of joke and, you know, this and that, but to compare your life and yourself and how much better than you, do you know how easy it is to be better than Chantel? Come on, dude. Knock that shit off. It's embarrassing. Not only should it be embarrassing to you, but her own fucking community. Could you imagine if I was out here talking about, that's why I don't let y'all say anything about Chantel can never, you got to wait. Like, don't do that. Like, come on. Yeah, well, you know, she wears a helmet too. Okay. So let's not do that. I'm just saying. Sassy Cat says BBJ spent the last years of her life being betrayed by one person after another. Basically, yeah, and that's really sad. And this is the thing. I used to fucking preach to Chantel about, here's what bothered me the most about the BBJ and what should bother everybody the most is that BBJ was elderly, right? BBJ was elderly and Chantel had BBJ since she was a kitten. And BBJ and Chantel, like they had a relationship. They had a relationship and Frenchie, fuck. We're getting off track putting Chantel in this. Like, so Chantel had all this life that she experienced, the breakup with BB, you know, all this shit that happened with Dishwasher. BBJ was there for Chantel through all of that. Like, she was always there. Anytime that, you know, Chantel needed a hug or a cuddle or just, you know, whatever. That's why, you know, pets are emotional support animals for a reason. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, we call animals emotional support animals for a reason. They don't even have to be actually certified to be our emotional support pets. They just are, right? And so for her to be there through all those years since she was a kitten, and then when she became elderly, and it's so sad to say it, but it is what it is. You fucking kicked her away in her time of need. Now she needed her mom. And I hope you're here and I hope you're listening to this shit, Chantel, because this fucking hurts to even say it. She needed you to be there for her after she was there for you through all that shit. And at the end of the day, you gave her to a fucking scumbag like Frenchie. And again, that's your fault. That's your fault that her ashes are sitting in her fucking Section 8 Canadian hotel right now. Your fault. Nobody else's. Not Frenchie's, not the community's, but you. And it's disgusting. And that's why you shouldn't have animals. Teddy Pig says, thanks, Shabba, for bringing us all the truth right before Christmas, bitch. That's right, Teddy Pig.
Right before Christmas, bitch.
And thank you for the support. I appreciate you, hun. And that story always fucking gets me in my feelings, man. But that's how I think about it. Every time I think about how BBJ, because, I mean, rehoming pets already is hard enough. I understand that people have, you know, things that happen in their life and sometimes you have to. And I'm not here to shame anybody that has to rehome an animal. Sometimes shit happens. But when we're talking about an elderly animal and then we're talking about not being responsible when you rehome that animal so it ends up with somebody who literally hates you, that's rough. That really is rough. Teddy Pig, thank you for the support, hun. Mercio says, poll idea, what can we expect from FFG? Silence, claiming it's fake, or 3, rage at getting caught, faking this was all a part of some plan. Here's what I think is going to happen. I think that she'll finally tell the truth. And I think she'll make up some excuse and she'll blame it on Chantel for the reason that she kept that information to herself. And I think she'll leave it at that. And I think she'll say, I'm not answering any more questions and I don't want to talk about it. So when people say, well, what about you and the cat? I don't want to talk about it. I'm telling you that I was trying to protect BBJ because of Chantel. I didn't want Chantel to have that information. So I was doing what I thought was best, and that's it. And she'll leave it at that, and then she'll walk away from it. That's what I think is going to happen. I don't want to do the poll because I'm so behind already, but maybe later. And thank you for being a member, hun. Exactly, Lisa Simpson. Hello, Monroe. Never was genuine or authentic. Exactly. Never, never, ever. And that's a fucking shame. Because listen, do I take pleasure in finding this information out and having Frenchie's brother deliver it to my fucking doorstep, to the community's doorstep? I would be a liar if I sat here and say no. Because I do, especially after what that shit she pulled with me and my family. Like, I'll never forget that shit. But here's the thing. None of us are winners. When you find out that somebody is such a fucking degenerate, lying piece of shit and they're in your community, it doesn't make your community look good. When people in my community do good, then I do good, right? Because this will cause people to just leave. This is so icky and so disgusting that a lot of people are just going to check the fuck out. This is not good for our community. Do I find pleasure personally because I feel like it's a fucking punch right to the nose after what she did to me? Yeah, sure. But at the end of the day, it doesn't help the community as a whole. All it does is hurt our community. And our community is already kind of starting to tank. Like, Chantel did not deserve BBJ. And obviously, I would like to be able to say that rehoming her was the best thing to do, but I can't. The best thing in that situation was for fucking Chantel to stay put and take care of her animals. It's not like she even left the country because she really, it was the love of her life. It was so selfish and disgusting. And yeah, she absolutely, I'm sure, looked for her until her final days. And that's just so sad to even say. 49 freaking fabulous. Thank you for the support, hun. Diddy Kong, knock it off. Agony Jones says, I was watching FFG's father's live post on Twitter towards Chris this morning too. Just a shit show. Every time I refresh the thread, it was a new post. It's actually disgusting. So if you cannot handle certain things, like just a parent trying to publicly humiliate their adult child, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't put yourself through that, because it's a lot. It's a lot there. It's crazy. I had the feeling that it was really him. Of course, you're going to question it because there are trolls in this community. Like, we have questioned the whole Chris thing since day one. Like, we didn't see Chris and be like, that's your brother. I know that's her. No, because this community is full of trolls, right? So then I talked to Chris on a personal level. I'm like, this is Chris. This is him. This is real deal. And then I seen the dad's account and I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Considering everything and looking at the name and some other hints that were there, I was like 70-30, And then after Chris said it, he was like, I didn't want to say it was my dad at first, but he said after everything that he said, fuck that. It's absolutely him. Charlie says FFG is going to have me busy in December. I appreciate her for all the lies she tried to spin about me. Bitch, ain't that the truth? Without that, I would have never started paying attention to her behavior. Samesies. See what happens when you lie on people? See what happens? And you're not even trolling. Like, you're not even making it funny. Like, I'll be like, yeah, did y'all see after her hashtag no small portions diet, she's up to 673 pounds? Like, that shit's funny. That's a funny lie. That's a troll. But you be out here trying to actually hurt people with your bullshit. Agony, thank you for your support. Diddy Kong, simmer down. That is why they hate Charlie. Charlie puts together the best fucking receipts, the receipt videos in this community, hands down. Liz says, I'm getting emotional about BBJ being with strangers when she passed. My sweet babies that passed were always with me or my mom up until the last moments. And that's how it's supposed to be. That's how it's supposed to be. And you know what? It's not even worth getting into it. Like you said, I feel like people are getting emotional, Liz. Thank you for the support. Let me go ahead and I want to play a couple of clips for you guys. Let me show you this screenshot that I have. This is Fruity Tooty when Twitter ever decides to come back up. If you are on Twitter and you want to follow along with some of the receipts and the fuck shits, Charlie is definitely a great account to follow. We have other people in the community. This is Fruity Tooty. One of the best. She has pulled these clips that I'm about to show you guys. I believe the one I'm about to play is the night before Christmas Bees. It was December 24th, 2023. And she even gives the timestamp. So if you want to go on her channel and you want to, not have to necessarily look for this shit yourself, she puts out, where you can find this information. So the 58-minute mark, let's go ahead and hear what she had to say. Now, remember, according to Chris, French Fry Girl's brother, BBJ passed away October 17th, 2023. The clip that I'm about to play you is from December 24th, 2023. That's 2 months. 2 months. Remember that as you listen.
But since she just reminded me, y'all, our gift for BBJ for Christmas this year, you know those things they make for cats and it's like a fish and the tail flops around? Okay, so it's one of those, but it's like an updated version of that. It's a shark. It's a big shark and the whole thing flops around on the floor and you can take the whole thing like apart and take the motor out and stuff. So you can wash the actual like shark piece of it. You know what I mean? Like the exterior can just be thrown into a washing machine. And it's got this like big motor thing with this big motorized tail that you shove in and you charge it with a USB. It is the cutest fucking thing. Cutest fucking thing. So I hope she really likes it. Don't tell her what we got her till tomorrow.
No, No, I'm in Canada.
And I didn't have wrapping paper with cats on it, but I had wrapping paper with dogs on it. So I wrapped it over. When I dropped it over at my friend's house, it was BBJ, I wrote sorry on the fucking wrapping paper. So when the cat reads it, she'll know it was no hate. It was just like, I don't fuck with cats like that. I don't have cat wrapping paper, but I have dog wrapping paper because that's what I wrap the dog's Christmas presents with. Don't judge me.
Yeah. I'm thinking the same thing that you guys are, obviously. And I'm like, what? Liz says, last one that I'm going to go cry. Hug your baby, spoil them, lots of treats and toys. Tell them they're royal pains in your butt, but they're your royal pains. Exactly, Liz. That's how we like to do it. Oh, you're mine. You're a pain in my ass, Harlow, but you're my pain in the ass. And thank you for the support. So going last night, after we were given this information, in the time, the October 17th, 2023, and I'm hearing these clips, and I'm like, there's no way. And that's not to call you a liar, Chris, right? But it doesn't, like, the mentality of it all is so bizarre, because you're telling me at this time of this clip that the cat had died 2 months ago, and she's making it out like the cat is still alive, and like you could just not say anything, like nothing whatsoever. Not FFG defenders trying to spin the narrative that referring at BBJ as retired was a way to express the community of her passing. Well, that's not what we just heard. That's not what we just heard whatsoever. Thank you for the support, hun. So hearing this clip and seeing what Chris is saying to me, like, just right off the bat, I want to go with, maybe you'll have the date wrong, Chris. Or maybe you're mad about something that she did and you just want to get back at her, so you're just making these dates up, right? But then I go back and I remember everything that I personally know and how I know that she's a liar about this, that, and the other, and the other. And I'm like, oh, well, yeah. Yeah, anybody who's willing to lie about being in the mafia and Gary, Indiana, and being an accountant and a karate expert, they would totally, because when you go back, you can go back through her streams, and she talks in detail about being an accountant. She talks in detail about this karate shit. She used to talk in detail about the fucking lumberjack. So listening to this clip and seeing what Chris said, and as unbelievable as it is, well, unless you can come on here and provide some receipts, Frenchie, which is what the community has wanted, it's like we're putting you in a corner. We're painting you in a corner to get the fucking truth. The date, when it happened, is what people want. And we're listening to your brother because so far he's been right about everything. So why now would he lie and be so specific about this date? That's the thing. Chantel's Unflick Bean says, sitting here with my 2 babies, hurting for BBJ. It's tough, Chantel's Unflick Bean. It really is. And that is why, Chantel, like, you sat there and you defend yourself and how you were there for your cats and you were a good cat mom. How can you say that? And where your cat and her ashes is with your number one most hated enemy. How does that happen? And how can you call yourself a good pet owner when you weren't there in her last moments? Like, think about that. Thank you for being a member for 10 months, hon. Rio says, because her insanity scares me. How do we know she didn't do something to BBJ? I remember both her dogs up and died too. Who pretends a pet is still alive? Let me say this before things get really crazy and rumors start to fly. They're going to regardless, right? Anything is possible. I will agree to you, Rio, but I think it's very important right now to stick to the facts. But here's where I will agree with you is that I don't know the story surrounding Frenchie's dogs that passed away. I know that people used to say things to poke at Frenchie to fuck with her or whatever. I would be open to hearing what really happened, yes. But could I sit here and say that, it was she did something? I can't say that. Right now, I just want to stick to the facts and what we know. But you're not wrong for asking these questions. You're not wrong for asking these questions. Anybody should. Really. And thank you for the super chat, hun. Mango, did she pass away or was she put down? I think I assumed that she was put down. But I really honestly don't know. If Chris is still here, I know the chat has been kind of crazy. Chris, if you just happen to be in chat, if you could answer whether or not that she was put down or if she passed away, that'd be great. Chunk says, I demand a Chaba podcast style collab mega stream on this topic. Let's get to it, ladies. I know, right? I've kind of been talking to Charlie, dude. I've been like so busy lately, but I would love, like, for us and maybe some other creators. That's the thing. We are at a point in this community where a lot of creators don't feel safe in this space to even collab with certain people. And I get that. But whoever's willing to, I would be open to it for sure. And Chunk, thank you for the support, hun. Okay. Hey Girl says put down. Okay. Lisa Simpson says, okay, so he confirmed that BBJ was put down. She didn't pass away, that she, and I'm sure because she was elderly, we will for sure. And it's going to be epic. She was elderly. So I'm not even saying that she did anything to the cat. Again, I don't want things because this is already bad enough to get twisted or anything. It more than likely was her health condition and the fact that she was an elderly cat is why she was put down. I'll leave it at that until I know something else. Chunk, thank you for your support, hun. There are more clips I'm going to play really quick. Let's see here. The next one, 20 minutes. I'm not really sure which is which, but I can just, okay, well, I will know after they play. I think that one's the 2025. Let's wait. So I believe this one is Foodie Beauty flees the country after PayPal scamming her audience. This is from April 8th, 2024. And again, according to Chris, BBJ was put down in October, on October 17th, 2023.
How can anyone allow an animal to suffer like that? I don't know. You have to be a special kind of sick fuck, in my opinion. It's not our problem anymore. I suppose the only good thing, I don't want to say good, but it's like merciful that Timbit's not around anymore. Timbit's not suffering anymore. Sam, like, we don't know what was Sam's like status when Sam was, I want to say rescued too, out of that living condition. We don't know what was going on with Sam, but Sam is rescued and living better. And I mean, I can't attest for BBJ. Bitch is fucking thriving, and we all know it. Speaking of BBJ, what I was trying to work on before the stream, and I'm about to, when we end the stream, go right back to it. I think I have figured out the way to do these calendars. You know, we've been talking about making a BBJ calendar.
Okay. Wow. So again, that was April 2024. And according to her brother, BBJ passed away in October 2023. And if that is the case, which I don't see why Chris would lie, she's alive and thriving. All right. Red Stain Eyes says, I don't know if I believe that she really made all of those donations she said she did to all of the animal and domestic violence fundraisers. Anyone can Photoshop the paperwork. Okay. As far as the fundraisers that were done on her YouTube channel, that goes directly to the charities. Okay. When it says that you are hosting a fundraiser and you're collecting money, remember when we did the St. Jude fundraiser? You have no access to that money. Now, I do know that she did fundraisers outside of that. I can't speak on that. I can't speak on money. I remember when it happened. I remember the check. I remember the picture in front of the Canadian whatever it's called. I do remember that. But as far as if it actually, I don't know. All I can say for sure is that anytime you have a fundraiser and it says the money is going to a certain cause, it does. Outside of that, I would never, ever, ever recommend any kind of money exchanging hands, if you will. But when you host a fundraiser, there is no 30% and it goes directly to the cause, whether it be RAIN, whether it be St. Jude. They have lots of options as far as fundraising is concerned. So I don't know. I can't answer that. I'm not the person for that, Red Stained Eyes, but thank you for being a member for 38 months. Kyle says FFG taking money for a dead cat and blocking anyone for asking about her is no different than Chantel taking $2K from Beezers and not giving receipts. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Freya, well, I'm telling you, he's totally fine with it, okay? If there wasn't anything nefarious going on with the BBJ situation, let's say I happen, and I've said this before, right? Let's say I happen to have BBJ. Let's say I rescue BBJ. That motherfucker would be in every single video because it's not my cat. It's your cat. So when I go live, you want to see your cat. I want to know. Here, yeah, but here's money to take our cat to the vet. I'm going to be like, okay, so thank you for the money to take the cat to the vet. Here's your cat. See, it's right here. And it's that cat, something had, even if something like maybe from me, like maybe, I don't know, maybe I accidentally left the door open and the cat got hit by a car, you know, like shit like that happens. It would be my responsibility to come to you all and tell you the truth of what happened. It was an accident. I left the door open. The cat got hit by a car. I'm sorry. I know I should have did better. I should have been a better fucking cat owner, but this is what happened because it's your cat. You all funded all of that shit. And when people said, well, how's our cat doing? Get the fuck out of here. Block. Like that don't even make sense. Like what was going through your Funko brain, Frenchie, where you couldn't have been honest and open with your people about the cat and then to use Chantel as an excuse not to be transparent. I'm not going to give any information. She doesn't deserve it. Like this is not about fucking her. This is about the community who wants updates and who was, they didn't just financially, there's a lot of people who didn't donate. Not everybody donated, right? But they were emotionally invested. And being emotionally invested is just as important. Like we were here. We went through that with you. All that adrenaline rush that you were feeling, we felt that shit too. We want to know, like, what's up? Nothing. And you can't take that shit back. You can't undo that. It's done. Like you missed that opportunity to actually give something to this community and you fucking destroyed it. At least they would have had a little bit of then now with all this information coming out and knowing who she was with and alone and everything, like I said, this is not helping the community whatsoever. Yeah, don't fuck with my emotions, Smokey. Kyle, thank you for the support. I don't know if she sold the calendars. I thought the calendars were giveaways. And here's the thing though, with giveaways, like giveaways are also a way to get your community to interact. So it helps your channel. Like you give to your community You get back, your community grows, they're commenting on your videos, they want to be a part of your community. So are you giving back to your community and you're doing something nice? Sure. But there is something in return that you get. So whether she was selling them or giving away doesn't change anything about it. You know what I mean? They were all giveaways. I thought so. I don't think that she sold anything with BBJ's picture on it. I think she knew that was a line she shouldn't cross. BBJ is all of ours now. Yeah, that never happened. That never happened. I got one more clip we're going to play. And this one is recent. This is very recent. Let me get it pulled up here. Okay, this one is from May 30th, 2025. So we're in November. So this is like 5 months ago. 5 months ago. Are you all ready to hear what Frenchie had to say 5 months ago? Are you ready for this?
FFG, can we pause a second, talk about other stolen cats in this community? Okay. Where's BBJ? Living her best fucking life since the day that she was rescued from Chantal. And it's not a stolen cat. She gave her away. And you're a fucking idiot who just wasted $5. Cloppy dumbass. Thanks.
I'm going to play it again. 2025, 6 months ago.
FFG, can we pause a second, talk about other stolen cats in this community? Okay. Where's BBJ? Living her best fucking life since the day that she was rescued from Chantal. And it's not a stolen cat. She gave her away. And you're a fucking idiot who just wasted $5. Cloppy dumbass. Thanks. 2025. Isn't that crazy? She's living her best life. So up 6 months ago, she's still claiming that the cat is alive. So I don't know. Maybe Frenchie will get a webcam, plug it into her device, and cam up with BBJ and, prove Chris to be a liar. That's an option. If he's not telling the truth, that is your option to do that. Maybe she'll take a picture of the cat with the date next to it, pull some shit like that. I don't know. As of right now, the ball is in your court, but I do think that you don't owe shit to me. You don't owe shit to me. You don't owe shit to Charlie. You don't owe shit to Chris as far as this situation is concerned. But who you do owe it to is your community, this community. People who didn't even fuck with you were rooting for you. There were people who didn't fuck with you that were rooting for you because you were doing a good thing for BBJ. Chris says, yes, let's all assume I'm lying. Please prove me wrong for FFG. I know you're not lying, Chris. I'm trying to set the response from Frenchie. You have to give somebody an opportunity to respond. That's just what it is, right?